Hi there, welcome to the first episode of today of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is the lies and skullduggery the SNP have been up to regarding paying older people their winter fuel payment. So this story started with me receiving a copy of an email from a friend on Twitter who had written to his local MP, who's a Labour MP, obviously shown his disgust at the potential, now been voted on and passed, discussion that the Labour Party were having about cutting the pensioners' fuel payment. Now, the reply he received highlighted me to something that I'd missed before and got my little inquisitive brain into overdrive thinking, what's all this about? So I've done a bit of digging, and what I've found is incredibly bad for the SNP. So as you can see here with the email from Blair McDougall, he's the Labour MP for East Renfrewshire, he replies to the gentleman who asked the question, thank you very much, blah, 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 and then says, as you may know, the winter fuel payment has already been devolved to the SNP Scottish Government from October this year and will be called the Pension Age Winter Heating Plan. The Scottish Government were advised by their own team as far back as March 2024 that this new payment should be means tested. Now, it also says you will have seen just last week the SNP announced £500 million of cuts to public services in Scotland. So it's hard to see how they would have been able to ignore their own advisors on the Pension Age Winter Heating Plan when their financial incompetence over the past 17 years has created such a terrible mess. So, that got me thinking, because I hadn't picked up on this. So I then moved on and had a look at the budget that the SNP put out in March 2024 for the budget for 24-25. Now, the way they get their money is majority through the Barnett formula, and that's predetermined, levelled, and there's your money. So you kind of know how much money you're getting before you write your budget. And in the budget that they set for 24-25 in March of this year, there is a section that claims the Scottish Government has adopted a mission-based approach focused on delivering equality, community and opportunity. Equality, tackling poverty and protecting people from harm. In this budget, we are committing £6.3 billion in social security benefits and payments, just over £1 billion more than in 23-24. And this is the important part. Enabling disabled people to live full and independent lives, supporting older people to heat their homes in winter, and helping low-income families with their living costs. So that was set out in March 2024 to cover us, kick in from the 1st of April in 2024 right up to the last day in March. Now, to do these budgets, you must know how much money you're getting in. Now, the Barnett formula, that can't be affected by Labour and taking chunks of it off. If there's incrementals in Labour where they spend more money on something in England, like the Grenfell Towers, then an incremental's handed as a proportion, like roughly 10%, because we have about 10% of the population in Scotland. So the Scottish Government had budgeted to pay the Scottish people their winter fuel bill because it was a devolved power from October. These payments obviously happen in the winter. So either they've made a mess of their calculations and we're having to do this regardless of what happened in England and Wales, because let me remind you, the vote taken at Westminster to abolish the winter fuel payment was for people in England and Wales only. And I found it a bit peculiar that the Scottish Labour MPs voting for this removal of money that was paid to English and Welsh pensioners. Because if there's a vote on it in the Scottish Parliament, then people in England and Wales wouldn't be voting on it. But I find this peculiar, and it's a peculiar thing about the current setup at Parliament that Scottish MPs get to vote on things that have got nothing to do with them. Anyway, so that's the background to it, and the Scottish Government in March of this year committing to pay their words in their budget. And then we come up to what's happened now. And they put a press release out saying, as a result of the UK government's decision to introduce means testing to winter fuel, we have no choice but to restrict eligibility for pension age winter heating plan to older people on relevant eligible benefits. Due to the timing of the UK announcement, the pension age winter heating payment will be deferred until 25-26. For winter 24-25, that's just now, the Department of Work and Pensions has committed to make payments this winter to eligible pensioners in Scotland in terms equivalent to the winter payments in England and Wales. Their goal, means tested. Now, I'm curious at this point to know where if the money's coming from. I'd imagine the Scottish Government have to pay the Department for Work and Pensions the equivalent money they pay out to Scottish pensioners, because we've already got that money in their budget and given to us by Westminster. And then the maddest thing, because this is another case of me reading a news article that's about one thing and picking up something that's not really part of the story, but just something that jumps out the page at me. And this is from the BBC's website back in 14th of August. It's almost a month ago. Scotland scraps universal winter payments for pensioners. Scottish Government has confirmed it will follow the UK Government in no longer providing winter fuel payments to all pensioners. The UK benefit is due to be replaced by a Holyrood-run alternative, but ministers have confirmed it will be means tested while the rollout has been delayed. All the things we've learned in the previous thing. Social Justice Secretary Shirley-Anne Somerville said she had no choice after the Chancellor amended cuts south of the border. Well, I contest that. You had loads of choice, because it's a deferred power. And I believe you already had the money and accounted for it. And by not paying it now, Scottish Government's going to save some money and use that somewhere else. It came as Scotland's Finance Secretary ordered ministers to constrain all but essential spending to help pay public sector pay deals. So they're doing the exact same as Labour. They're giving people overinflation pay deals in the public sector, and they need to fund that money from somewhere else. So it's wooden dollars, take it from there and put it to there. The exact same as Labour's done. Now, here's the bit that's not really part of the story, but jumped out at the page to me. Shona Robison has written to Cabinet colleagues advising of stricter rules on discretionary spending, including the recruitment freeze on all but essential posts. Now, so we're not allowed to recruit unless it's essential. Well, why would we be recruiting at any point when it's not essential? That's just a bit that's just jumped out at the page at me. So what she's saying is, up until now, we've done recruitment that we didn't really need. Well, how much recruitment have you done in the last 17 years that wasn't essential? Because that's not your job. Your job is not to create positions or give extra jobs or extra, a number of positions to make things a wee bit easier for people and not really essential to the workings of the Scottish Parliament, Scottish Government, or the public sector in Scotland. And this is what I've been talking about for months. And what Holyrood needs is people to get voted in that will look under the bonnet and say, are we getting the Scottish people best value for the hard-earned money that we take off them as a government? And this tells you, this one paragraph in a story about something totally different, that they don't do that. Because let me just tell you the words again and let it sink in. Shona Robison has written to Cabinet colleagues advising of stricter rules on discretionary spending, including a recruitment freeze on all but essential posts. It's disgusting. So I believe they're telling lies about these winter payments because I believe you've already got the money. They just want to use it for something else. And you'll blame Westminster. Didn't take you long. You know, it used to be blame Tories at Westminster, now it's blame Labour at Westminster. And listen, Labour ain't my friends. Labour ain't my, you know, I'm not a big fan of theirs right now. I don't think anybody in the UK should be. But to blame Westminster for things that you actually control is just repeating the broken record that we've had for 17 years. You people deserve to get flung out the building at the earliest possible convenience because you're not doing what's best for Scotland. If you've always been recruiting at will as opposed to just essential posts. So, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and notification bell. Get involved in the comments below. Let me know, please, what you think of A, the video, and B, the topic. But most important thing of all, unless you are Shona Robison, the decrepit SNP running this country, or any of their ever dwindling cult following that still remain.
Everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.